Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. This is a Monday morning call. Obviously, if you have any things that are going well, things going poorly, things you'd like to share or want help with, now is a great time to bring those up because we can always all benefit from whatever is happening with any individual out there. So raise your hand and we'll be happy to either open up your line so we can talk, or we can type it in there and we'll answer it that way. So as I'm waiting to see if there's any questions or concerns, then I will move forward. So today's pointer is, oops, I have to get my thing going here, is when should a client start their guaranteed living benefit? So when do you think a client should start their living guaranteed benefit? There's actually been very, very little study done on this, and a recent study done by one of the industry's most respected experts, Moshe Milevsky, was quite a shocker for everybody in the industry. Just a second here, I got something weird going on. Okay, sorry about that. There we go. So Moshe Milevsky is probably the industry's most well-known expert on all sorts of different things. And he did a study with two actual economists to find out when do you think people should exercise the income benefit rider on their variable annuity. And it was really a lot different than what most people thought. So what he found out was that if you're over 60, you should turn it on immediately. And there's a lot of math that goes into this, but basically if the client is over 60, they should turn it on immediately. They'll come out far better off if they turn that income on immediately. Now, there's proof of this. There's proof of this going on right now in the industry. What are variable annuity companies trying to do with their guaranteed living benefit riders? Anybody? And Missy, I don't know if I can figure out how to. Can you help me figure out? Look at the.
Yep, I'll be right
the
there.
Chat box. Thanks. So, guys, what are the variable annuity companies trying to do with their guaranteed living benefits? So Missy's bringing up the comments so I can see what people are typing in. Where'd it go? Uh-oh, there it is. Aha. Decrease percentage. Okay, somebody said decrease percentage. Oh, decrease percent. Eliminate them. Yeah, exactly. Pam, Andy, Al, you're all right. They're trying to buy them out because they've looked at them actuarially, and what they found out is they're a bad deal for the annuity company, and they're a good deal for the client. So Milevsky said that did all the math. They said you should turn them on immediately. Now, does that mean you should turn them on and buy them? No. So what should you do, Al? When you turn on, should you start spending them, or what should you do with them? So his point was turn them on, but not to spend, but to reinvest in something different. So you're going to be far better off. That's right, Al, reinvest. So you're going to be far better off turning them on as soon as possible and then moving that money to some other investment. You'll come out far better off than just leaving it in the variable annuity, which brings up all sorts of planning techniques. Now, if you want that article, you can send us an email to support@5qgroup.com, and we'll get you the actual article or the link to that on the website. But this really shook the industry, the fact that you should turn these on. I'll tell you what, the insurance companies hated this article because they're taking it in the shorts. If everybody's turned on their guaranteed living benefit right now, they would take it in the shorts, these are variable annuity companies. So, and again, not to spend, but to reinvest. So doesn't that open up all sorts of planning opportunities and actually selling opportunities for us with all of our clients and all the people we run into? Absolutely. They could buy a trip. They could move it to an FIA. They could do all sorts of things with that guaranteed living benefit rider. So they shouldn't spend it. They should reinvest it, but they should turn it on immediately. Again, there's a lot of math that went into that, but if you look at the article, you can, and you want to delve into the math, they go through all the mathematics. But it comes out that anybody over age 60 should turn those on immediately, which opens up all sorts of planning opportunities for us. So that's my pointer for this week. What I want to talk about as the subject of the week is referrals. How do we get referrals? Well, actually, you want to systematize your referrals just like you want to systematize everything else. If we just wait for referrals to come to us without any plan or system to make that happen, how many referrals do we get on a regular basis? I mean, they come once in the blue moon if we just let them happen. But if you systematize your referrals, you can make a lot more of them happen. And obviously, our best prospect is always going to be a referral, right? So here are the 5 things you need to consider. What's your number? Got to make it easy. Be touchy-feely. Timing is everything. And the oldest, most effective tool in the book. So we're going to talk about all those things. So first of all, figure out what your number is. Don't just sit there and wait for referrals to happen. Decide how many referrals you want to happen. Do you want 1 a month? Do you want 2 a month? Do you want 4 a month? You want 1 a week? Figure out what that number is, because based on that number will determine how many systems you need to put in place to create those referrals. So I've got a number of systems in the 5Q system that you can use for referrals. So, but first of all, you need to determine how many referrals you want, and then once you know that, then you know what systems and how many systems to put in place. Does that make sense? So any questions on that? Because how many of you know right now how many exactly what number of referrals you want in a year, in a month, in a week? And you know, if somebody says a lot, is that what we're talking about here, guys? Is a lot a good answer? No, that's a horrible answer. What's a good answer? A good answer isn't exactly, Al. A good answer is a specific number. Once you know what your specific number, and guys, this goes for everything in our industry. You should figure out exactly how much money you make. Why? Because if you know how much money you make, then you can go back and say, figure out how much you make per average client, and then that determines how many clients you want, and then you determine how many people you have to see to become that client. Guys, you need to systematize your practice. You need to have a plan. If you just let things happen, you're always going to make much less than you deserve and work much harder than you need to if you do not have a plan. If you have a plan, you work far less and make a lot more. So what is your referral number? How many do you want? That's for you to determine, not for me to determine. So then you need to make it easy. So let me ask you a question, guys. Why don't referrals work? There have been hundreds of books written on referrals, thousands of articles written on referrals. If I ask any advisor, where do you want your clients to come from, they all say referrals. So we all want referrals because they're pre-sold. They're basically 90% chance of closing the deal if it's a referral. And there's been hundreds of books and thousands of articles written about referrals. So why don't, because referrals work. Because obviously with all these books and articles written on referrals, and all the advisors want referrals, as well as every other type of salesperson wants referrals, if there was really a system that worked, wouldn't everybody just be using referrals? Because they're free. They're free, and they're the best possible clients you can get, or prospects you can get. And yet all the books, all the articles, and still there is no good referral system out there. Because if there was, we'd all be using it. We would no longer be sending out postcards. We'd no longer be doing seminars. We'd no longer be doing radio. We'd no longer be doing anything. We'd just be doing referrals if there was actually a referral system out there. And do you think if there's a referral system out there, guys, I'm going to ask you this question. I want to see the answer to this. If there's a referral system out there that works, how long do you think somebody could keep that secret? If there's a referral system out there that really worked, how long do you think that we could keep that secret? Let's see some answers on that. I want to see you guys type in some answers to that. Not long, Al says. Exactly right. Come on, guys. This is participation on these calls. So not long is absolutely right, because if there was a referral system that worked, everybody would be using it, and nobody would be able to hide it for very long. So obviously, there is no referral system that works. Why? Why don't they work? Well, think about this. Almost all the referral systems revolve around one of two things. Either number one is they revolve around getting a bunch of names from a client. You know, whether it's a, hey, you know, get me the names of people at work, give me the names of people at your club, give me the names of people on your softball team, give me the names of the people in your address book. I mean, one of the methods that all these books and articles talk about is getting the names. So here's what happens when you get a bunch of names. When I turn over a bunch of names to you, as soon as you walk out the door, guess what I do? I pick up the phone and start calling those people and say, I don't know what got it. I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me, Bob, but I just gave your name to my advisor, and you know, he's a good advisor. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know why I gave him the name. He was a weak moment. I gave it to him. When he calls, just tell him you already have an advisor. Tell him you're already set. I don't really care what you tell him. I'm sorry for giving out your name. I don't know what got into me. I apologize. So, guys, how good a referral is that? If they're going to call a guy up, pre-warn them that you're calling because they're embarrassed that they gave out their name. Is that a good referral? And tell me that's not what's happening. That's a horrible referral. Now, don't get me wrong. Do some clients like to refer to you? Are they happy with you and would love to refer you out? They do. And those people actually do the legwork for you. You don't even have to ask for the names. They'll approach somebody, one of their friends, neighbors, relatives, and they'll say this. Oh, I got an answer here. First, Al says, first and foremost, the advisor has to be referable, meaning the client has to feel good enough about the relationship. Al, here's the thing, Al. So Al says, first and foremost, the advisor has to be referable, meaning the client has to feel good enough about them, the relationship, in order to refer them. Guys, all of our clients feel that way about us, but do they refer us? No. Why? If they didn't feel that way about us, so you're right, Al, they have to have that, but if they didn't feel that way about us, what would they have done a long time ago? If they didn't like us, didn't trust us, didn't think we were going to do a good job, didn't think we're actually the person for them, what would they have done a long time ago? They would have left us. They would have left us. So it's not enough for them to feel good about us. Yes, you're absolutely right, Al. They have to. That's the first step, is you better be referable, but that ain't good enough. Because here's what happens. If they love us and they go to their neighbor and they say, hey, you should work with my guy. He's a fantastic. He's helped me with my retirement. He's put all my affairs in order. This guy is fantastic. You should work with him. What's the neighbor say? What's the neighbor say when they do this? They don't say okay. They do not say okay, Al. What do they say, guys? I have someone, Dale. You're exactly right. I have someone. So is mine, Dale says. I have a guy, Fred says. That's what happens. When you go and say, hey, they go to their neighbor, friend, or relative and say, hey, you should work with my guy. He's great. He's fantastic. He's did a great job for me. They say, so is my guy. So now, we call that in the business. What do we call that in the business when somebody says that, something like that to us? What do we call that in the business? When we make an offer to somebody and they say, I'm not interested, what do we call that? Rejection. Now, it's our business to deal with rejection. It's our business to deal with rejection, but is it our client's business to deal with rejection? So the first time they go to their friend and they say, hey, you should work with my guy. He's fantastic. He's done a great job with my retirement. He's got me into some good investments, and he's really helped me a lot. And their friend says, yeah, well, my guy has too. That's rejection. So guess when the next time they're going to refer you out, guys? When's the next time they're going to refer you out? Never, Al says. Exactly right. Never, everybody's saying. Fred said, yeah, never. They're never going to refer you out. So now you're stuck. So the first thing for referrals is this. You need to come up with a great elevator statement, 5Q elevator statement. So the 5 things you need to do to come up with a great elevator statement is, first of all, make sure it's something that only you claim. Only you claim. So if I say I'm an IRA expert, how many people of our competition say that they're IRA experts? Everybody does. If I say I'm a blah, blah, blah expert, everybody, guys, it has to be something only you claim. Then the second thing is it has to address a fear, a frustration, or a level of greed for a problem that your clients have. Either address a fear, frustration, or a level of greed that your clients have, and it should be something that your clients lose sleep about. If you can find something that addresses a fear, frustration, or greed of something they lose sleep about, you're well on your way to a great 5Q elevator statement. The next thing is it has to be only 1 sentence long. Guys, why does it have to be only 1 sentence long? Why does it have to only be 1 sentence long? We're creating this 5Q elevator statement so we get referrals. So why does it have to be 1 sentence long or less? They won't remember if it's longer. Exactly right, Dale. They won't remember it if it's any longer. And then this is the biggest one. It has to be very, very, very specific. And those are all in caps. It has to be very, very, very specific. And here's why. If I'm shopping for a television, and let's say I'm shopping for a big screen television, and I read an ad and it says, everything on sale all the time, what's the likelihood I'm going to go down to that store? I'm not. I'm not going to go down there because it's too vague. For all I know, they don't have the television that I want, or when I go down there, it's going to be on sale for 1% off instead of 30%. So I don't trust somebody that says everything off all the time. I don't trust it. But what if somebody says, an ad says, hey, we've got 15 55-inch TVs on sale today. They're last year's Panasonic model, AK111, and when those are gone, it's 50% off, and when those are gone, they're gone. And if we don't sell off 15 by 4 o'clock, we're going to give the rest to the Boys and Girls Club. Now, how specific is that, guys? It's very, very, very specific. Last year's model, a Panasonic model, blah, 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 50% off. Only have 15 of them. When they're gone, they're gone. If you're not here, if there are any left over by 4 o'clock, we're giving them away to the Boys and Girls Club. That's very, very, very specific. What's the importance of that? When you hear that, what's the likelihood, if you're in the market for a big screen TV, that you're going to go down to see that store? Very likely. Why? Because it's believable. When you're very, very, very specific, it's believable. Do they feel like they could check out, they could go online and check out whether that was last year's model or not? Could they check out whether that's actually 50% off the retail price or not? Could they check out, go down and check out whether you only have 15 of them? Could they go down there at 4 o'clock and check out that if there were any left, you gave them the Boys and Girls Club? Because they feel like they were not going to check those things out, but because they feel like they could check those things out, they believe you. And when they believe you, they trust you. When they trust you, they buy from you. So it has to be very, very, very specific. And then you have to give them because. Because so with the sale, you say, well, because the new models are coming in and 55-inch TVs are big, we need to get them out of the warehouse. The because of why it works. And then the big thing is you want to make sure it works. Because just because you do all these 5 things doesn't mean it's going to work. You have to test it out. So what you want to do is you want to go and test it out with at least 10 people. And if 50% of them, at the end of your 5Q statement, say, really, how does he do that? That's for us, not for the TV example, but for what our 5Q is going to offer to clients. If 50% of them say, really, how does he do that, we know we have a killer 5Q statement. Because when a client says, really, how does he do that, what have they, or if you're talking to them, they say, really, how do you do that? They just said, hey, sell me. Tell me more about what you do. If a client goes to, think about this, if a client goes to a neighbor and says what you do, and the neighbor says, really, how does he do that? How does that make your client feel as compared to the neighbor saying, yeah, my guy already does that? Instead, if they hear, really, how does he do that? It's special, Al. It makes them feel special. It makes them feel good. As human beings, we like to know something that other people don't know. We like to have something that other people don't have. We like to be looked up to by other people. And it does all those things. And when they feel special, feel good, guess what they do? They continue to refer. So the first thing you need to do is figure out how many referrals do I want to get, because that's going to determine how many referral systems you need to put in place. Second thing is you need to come up with a great 5Q elevator statement. If you do not have a great 5Q elevator statement, then we've given you 7 of them that are actually in your Getting Started guide in your 5Q manual. So they're actually in your Getting Started guide in the 5Q manual. So, or at least in that section of the website. If you can't find those, let us know and we'll show you where they are. So we've actually created 7 of them. Do you use all 7? No. Find one of the 7 that you like and you can use it. Or you can come up with one of your own. But that's the second step. So first step is figure out how many do I want, how many referrals do I want. Second step is come up with a great 5Q elevator statement. This is an example of a great 5Q elevator statement. I help teachers in Bernalillo County increase their monthly income by an average of $441 a month by using HB 313, a loophole only available for the next 2 years. So, number 1, how many other people in this county, how many other advisors in this county do you think are saying this? How about none? So that fits number 1. Number 2, is it only a sentence or long? Yes. Number 3, is it affect something that addresses fear or frustration or greed? Yes. Fear and greed, right? Because teachers are afraid of running out of money in retirement. We address that. And greed, we address that. Then the very, very, very specific. Am I very specific? Teachers, number 1 level of specificity. Bernalillo County, 2nd level of specificity. Monthly income, 3rd level. 441, 4th level. HB 13, 5th level. Ends in 2 years, 6th level. 6 levels of specificity in 1 sentence. That is a believable statement. How many teachers, if you said this in Bernalillo County, do you think would say, how does he do that? And then the because, here's the because. I'm able to save the 441 because I'm using HB 313, which was a teacher's, it was the state's teacher retirement plan or pension plan. So it was a clause in that pension plan. So that's the because. I can get them 441 because I'm using this HB 313. So the advisor that I created this for made $325,000 in 6 months using this with no marketing costs whatsoever, just getting the few teacher clients he started with using this 5Q statement. And they passed it along to teachers' lounges, and he got one client after another client after another client. So these things are very powerful if you use the formula. And if you don't have one, it's in the Getting Started Guide to the 5Q manual. So that's the second thing. Number 3 is a methodology of getting clients is be touchy-feely. So one of the ways we do that is with epidemic marketing. And epidemic marketing is all the monthly things we give you to send out to your clients. And all of those things take a client from satisfied to actual loyal. Because here's the thing you have to understand about satisfaction. I've always been told you want a satisfied customer, but all the studies that have been done in our industry, guess what they found out about satisfied customers? Is satisfied customers a good thing or a bad thing? Obviously, I've got up here that it's dangerous. It's a bad thing. Because satisfied customers are satisfied, but satisfied customers are going to stay with you only until they find what? Satisfied customers will stay with you only until they find what? Something better. So, exactly right. Something better. What we need to do is make them loyal. Because loyal, I mean, with our wives, we're not looking for something better. We're not going to leave our wives until we find something better because we're loyal to our wives. But when I'm dating, I'm satisfied with the person I'm dating with, but if I was truly loyal to them, I would have married them. So at point when I'm dating them, I'm just simply satisfied with them. But if I find something better, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave them for something that's something better. So we need them to become married to us, to become loyal to us. How do we do that? The number one way, the number one characteristic of getting a client to be loyal to us is by having contacting them at least 24 times a year, about non-financial things. So why do you think all of our epidemic marketing is about non-financial things? Because we're using the science of loyalty. The loyalty is based on caring about them as human beings, not just caring about them because of their the money they make you. So if all your contacts about them are about money, that creates a satisfied client. Contacting them about non-financial things, that creates a loyal client, and loyal clients refer. Here's a good indicator of whether your clients are satisfied or loyal. Any idea? They looked at 1,473 or something like that. 1,473 advisors, and they asked their clients and whether they were loyal or satisfied or not, and then they divided those up. What do you think loyal clients? How many referrals loyal clients gave their advisors in a year? You're exactly right, Al. Loyalty sticks like glue. How many? After looking at 1,473 advisors, clients, how many referrals does the average loyal client give a year? You want to guess? 3 to 4? I got 11. All right, Dale. 11. 11 is what they give. 11.3 or something like that. So if you don't have a client giving you 11 on average, 11 referrals a year, guess what you don't have? A loyal client. Guess what the average satisfied client refers in a year? Much less than everyone has already said for the loyal. So we had 3, 4, 5, 11, 3. So guess how many they 0? Well, pretty darn close, Dale. It's 0.5. Very good, Dale. You did that. You must have seen the article. 0.6%. I'm sorry, 0.6%. 0.6 referrals. So less than one referral per satisfied, about a half a referral per satisfied client. So all of our epidemic marketing revolves around non-financial touches because that's what creates loyal clients, and loyal clients refer. So that's the first thing we give you, and we charge you nothing for that. So we've got all sorts. We got the snail mail newsletter. We got the electronic newsletter. We got the email that we give you. We got all sorts of things that you can use to stay in touch with the clients, always written about the non-financial. Second thing to be touchy-feely is client appreciation events. So every summer I would do a barbecue, and that barbecue is not very expensive to do for all of my clients, and they all brought, or not all, but lots of them brought friends. And this was a huge to-do, very inexpensive for me to do, but it was a huge to-do for all of my clients. And then what I did is I took photographs of all of them there. I sent them thank you notes with those photographs in there. And then in my office, the only art I had in my office was all these happy, smiling clients. All these happy, smiling clients in collages all over my office. Why? Because when people would walk in, they'd walk around and look at all these pictures, and they'd see all these happy, and invariably, guess what they found? People that they knew having a good time who were happy to be my clients. That's a form of referral. And then also, every time we did a client event, when these people brought friends, I'd end up netting 1 or 2 additional clients from that client event. I never had to pay for my barbecues because I always brought in more than enough business to pay for it and then some. Okay, so if you want to know how to do a barbecue, we've got the manual on how to do that. We also have a manual on how to do a luau, which is a fun thing to do in the summer as well. So it's very, very simple and easy. If you want to get the manuals for doing those things, just send an email to support@5qgroup.com and we'll get that for you. So these are very easy referral things to do and to make your clients loyal to want to refer more to you. Take your brain for a jog events. Now, here's the thing. We've designed these events to be fun. The reason we designed them to be fun is because I'll give you an example of this. When I decided to go into coaching exclusively, I was going to run one more event, one more seminar before I stopped to bankroll. So here's the weird thing. I've been doing the same seminar for 3 years. And we thought, well, we're doing the same seminar. It was a crappy flyer, which is a peach-colored piece of paper with my information on it. It was black printing on a peach piece of paper. That's all the invite was. And we had we filled not 1, not 2, but 3 seminars. And Missy and I were looking at each other saying, what the heck is going on? Why are all these people coming? So I started to work the room on these 3 events, and I said, why did you come? They said, well, you know what? Here's the thing. I get these things all the time, but my neighbor said that he'd been to yours, and yours is the only one town that I should go to. I'm like, wow, that's great. And then I asked somebody else. They said, you know what? I've been getting these things for years, it seems like, but finally a guy at work, I showed it to a guy at work, and he said that he'd been to one of your things, and that he said, I had to go to yours because it was the one in town that I need to go to. And I went through one person after another person after another person who I became known for my seminars, for my workshops, because they were fun, they were entertaining, and they were memorable, and people would say, you got to go to see this guy's event. So the reason we create the Take Your Brain for a Jog the way we do to make it fun is that it's a referable thing. People will tell their friends, hey, you got to go see this thing. So that's why we create them the way that we do. Dinner and a movie. We also have the Fire, Floods, and Taxes seminar, which is about a half-hour long, and we have an invite where the client has to bring a referral. The invite states on there, and we do it in a specific way, that the client has to bring a referral. And we do this at a nicer restaurant, but it's a great way to after a half-hour presentation, the Fire, Floods, and Taxes is great because you're giving them a bunch of free doodads that they can bring home, and then they're sitting next to your happy client who's singing your praises for an hour and a half during the dinner. So that's another way of being touchy-feely can get you good referrals. So do you do all of these? Well, you could do all these, absolutely. And that, again, goes back to how many referrals do you want in a year? Then the 5Q meeting process, just the 5Q meeting process, the 3-meeting process, the agreement meeting, the disclosure meeting, and the presentation meeting, because of the way we treat our clients very touchy-feely and that we spend so much time talking about things that we don't even get paid for, but put them in a much better position, like the advance directive and the taking care of the powers of attorney faults, and all these things that don't even deal with money. Because we treat them that way, you'll find tons of referrals start coming in. The last year, I did no marketing whatsoever, and I made $356,000 just simply on referrals. And the reason being is because people were so happy with the way they were treated in the 3-meeting process, that we treated them as human beings in a holistic way instead of just trying to part them from their money. Those are ways, all of these ways of being touchy-feely can create a huge amount of additional referrals. Timing is everything. Well, we do the referrals are about getting in front of somebody when they at the right time or the time that they need you. If they're already happy, satisfied where they're at, I don't care how great the referral is, they're just not going to move. So you got to be at the right place at the right time. However, the trick is we never know how to be at the right place at the right time. But that's what our small business newsletter is about, because you don't want to work with a small business person while they're still running the business. Why? Because think about this. A small business person is, when they're running the business, where's all their money? In the business. Where's all their time? In the business. Where's all their focus? In the business. Where's all their risk? in their business? Where's all their attention? In the business. So guess what they don't want to talk to? A financial advisor. But you know when they do want to talk to you? When do they want to talk to you guys? When does a small business person want to talk to you? When is a small business person desperate for you? My two biggest clients were small business people. They both approached selling the business, exactly, when they sell their business. My two biggest clients came from small business people who never had an advisor, but when they sold their business, boom, they walk in with a check for $5 million and they say, what do I do with this? It scares the heck out of them to have that check. They've never had that kind of money in their life. That's when you want to be in front of them. So our small business newsletter is about staying in front of them on a monthly basis, giving them ideas on how to help their business. Not about talking about how great a financial advisor we are. No. It's about ideas on how to make their business easier, make their business more profitable. And it's not about investments. It's not about what I do. It's about what they do and how to make it easier. They know what I do. They know what I do. And the thing is, if you don't have small business people are very well networked. So if you've been sending this newsletter to a business for 12 months and then their buddy is selling their business and the buddy says, you know, I'm selling this business. Do you know who I should talk to? Guess who the person receiving the newsletter is going to say? You need to talk to this guy who sends me this newsletter all the time. So timing is being there at the right time. We don't know when that time is, but if we do inexpensive things with the small business newsletter is about as inexpensive as you could do. If you're there all the time, inexpensively, you'll be there at the right time invariably, okay? So that's one way you could do it. The Halo system. It's a nice little system for people who would like to market more if they're in their faith-based community, in their churches, synagogues, etc. This is a little system that costs you nothing to do, but it's a fantastic way in a very professional, helpful, well-received way to create referrals in your faith-based community. By not out drumming up, it doesn't look like you're drumming up business. It doesn't look like you're out selling at all. It's letting people come to you, and then you know that once one or two people from your place of worship that comes to you, everything else starts happening automatically. They start referring you out, and boom, boom, boom. Pretty soon you've got one client, then you got two, then you got four, then you got 8, then you got 16, and that's it. So this Halo system is a fantastic way to network that in a very professional, helpful, non-intrusive way. Again, that's on the 5Q system. Just tap into it. The Golden system, I've talked about this many times, is really the only proven way to get attorneys and accountants to refer to you. And it's by setting up a case study group where you get 4 accountants, 4 attorneys, 5 accountants, 5 attorneys, and once a month you host a case study group in which they all talk about, the attorneys will talk about how they would deal with it legally, the accountants talk about how they would deal with it tax-wise, and you talk about how you deal with the investments or insurance-wise. But guys, do you think it's really the case study that's creating the referrals from those accountants and attorneys? Do you think that's the fact that they find out how smart you are? Do you think that's what's causing the referral to occur? And again, with the Golden system, it will take 6 months or so before you start receiving referrals. Why? For the very question, the reason I'm asking you, why do you think referrals occur by the accountants and attorneys when you do this? Because you're so smart when they see the ideas you come up with at the case study groups? Why, guys? Synergy of the group, yeah, I would say reciprocate as well, yeah, but that's not, those are helpful, Al, absolutely. It's not what I'm looking for, though. There's an old saying that who works with who? Client concerns, they know you care, yeah, I mean, all those things are right. Who works with who, guys? Friends work with what? Friends. We all work with friends. So guess what the Golden system is giving you an excuse to become? Friends. When they see you every month for lunch and you're all having a good time doing this case study group, bonding occurs. And then in between those meetings, guess what you're doing? You're calling all of them occasionally to have lunch with them. Not to talk about business, but to become their friends. They know that you know stuff, but they don't know if they trust you. But when you become a friend, guess what they know about you? If you're friends with somebody and they refer you to that another person, what will you not do? You will not screw the other person. Why? Because it would screw up your relationship. You're going to see him next month at the meeting. You're going to see him at lunch. You're going to see him golfing. The last thing you want to do is screw up. Guys, think about this. When a friend refers somebody to you, are you ultra careful on what you do? Not that we're not careful all the time with our clients, but are you ultra careful when a friend refers somebody to you. You are, because you don't want to screw that up, because it doesn't just screw up the relationship with the client, it would screw up your friendship with them, and because you're friends with them, you share other friends, it's going to screw up your friendship with everybody else too. So now they know they can trust you. So you have the golden system. Very inexpensive to do. You're going to buy, really you don't have to buy, you buy the first month's box lunches, but then everybody else will just start buying them going forward. Very inexpensive to do. How many of you are doing this, guys? Been talking about this for 6 months. How many of you have this system in place? So all of you say that you want to work with referrals. All of you say you want an attorney to refer to you and an accountant to refer to you. I've given you the only system proven to work, because this system has been proven to work hugely. But how many of you are using it? Guys, you got to quit talking about things and actually do things. Client Advisory Board, Special Forces Edition. What this is the Client Advisory Board, where I tell you exactly how to set it up so that your Client Advisory Board will come up with your 5Q elevator statement for you. When you're 5 or 6 people on your Client Advisory Board, come up with your client, and I walk you through exactly how to do this, come up with the 5Q elevator statement for you. Remember, the last thing we need to do when we come up with a 5Q elevator statement is to test it. So what you're going to do is have those 5 or 6 people go out and test it on 10 people they know. So they're going to go and give 10 people the 5Q elevator statement to find out how many of them say, how does he do that, versus some other comment. So if you've got 5 people out there doing your 5Q elevator statement to 10 people, that's 50 people. Do you think you're going to get some referrals from that? Absolutely. Now, I've had this system out there for over a year. Are you using it? So again, saying you want referrals, saying you want things to happen, you know what? There's no magic wand. Everything requires a little elbow grease. But how much does it cost to a Client Advisory Board? Donuts and coffee. That's it. You have all the tools to get all the referrals you want, guys. The question is, will you lift a finger to do it, or are you just going to go to sleep at night and dream about it and hope they come? You've got the tools to do it, guys. The property casualty system, fantastic way to get property casualty agents to refer to you, especially the TRIP property casualty system is a very, very good way to do it, because the TRIP talks the same language that property casualty agents understand and know. It's about protection. And then they know exactly what you're going to do. They're very comfortable with it. So this is the way that you need to approach the property casualty agents for referrals. Toast of the town, getting involved with your Toastmasters, or getting involved with your Chamber of Commerce. And again, this is a system, the Toast of the Town system, in which you'll get tons of referrals if you follow through with this. And then the handwritten notes. Guys, I used to every month send out 200 handwritten notes. Every month, 200 handwritten notes. That took a lot of time. Why did I do it? Do you think my clients are satisfied with me or loyal to me when I send out handwritten notes? Satisfied or loyal? They're loyal. When can you send out handwritten notes? You can send out handwritten notes for birthdays, for anniversaries, client anniversaries. Every single one of my clients got a handwritten note for their client anniversary. Every single one of my clients got a handwritten note for their birthday. You can send out handwritten notes on postcards wishing them a happy 4th of July. These are things that make them not satisfied but loyal. Do they take work? Yeah. But if you want referrals require work, guys. The reason being is if your clients love you, the first time they're going to go out there and they're going to refer to you and they get rejected, they're never going to do it again. If they're loyal to you, they will be monsters. And then if you give loyal people your 5Q elevator statement, it's all over. Another way to get referrals, Pam Rosenberry came up with, is a just brilliant idea that she's done, is she actually goes and gets in front of small business people that she's networked with in a brilliant way. That's a whole different topic, but in a brilliant way has networked with small business people, and then says, can I go in to your office and do a TRIP presentation for your office? So now she's in front of 15 people, costs nothing, and it's movers and shakers in the community. Fantastic way to create referrals from highly respected people in the industry. I mean, they get a little creative with this. She was willing to do the work. Boom. When you do the work and you have the contacts, you get lucky. But you're not really getting lucky. You're making your own luck. And then there's another little idea with Be a Mini Angie. You probably recognize this gal with Angie's List. I got this idea from duct tape marketing. And what they said is approach your clients and ask them for the names and services of other companies they love in town. Now, for the past 10 years, I've been encouraging all my guys that when they get a client, the first thing you do is send out a letter, and we actually have the letter on the website. Send a letter to the accountant and the attorney of that client, introducing yourself. You don't even have to write the letter. I've written the letter for you. Just send it out to them. So duct tape marketing is actually taking that idea and put it on steroids. So what they're saying is approach your clients and ask them for the names of service companies in towns, especially for sure their accountant and their attorneys, and then other ones as well. Any work but mutual customers make this work even faster. That's why I'm saying if you work with the clients, attorneys, and accountants, you've already got a good start here. And then what you want to do is pick out just 4 or 5 of these companies where your clients tend to use the same services. If you can do it that way, you don't need to, but if you can, if it's shared, if you're all sharing the same customers, it's a fantastic way to go about this. Pick out just 4 or 5, and then meet with them. Recommend meeting with them, saying, listen, we're all sharing the same customers. Obviously, we're marketing the same type of people. Obviously, our best customers look alike. Let's get together and figure out how we can make this happen. Let's see how we can make this or leverage this, so you can end up advertising for each other. You can make sure you all have each other's business cards. You can help them develop their own 5Q elevator statement. Now, how much of a hero do you look like? And if you're all handing out each other's 5Q elevator statements, just think about the referrals you can get. You can write white papers on a number of different things, and the attorneys can hand out your white papers. You can hand out the attorneys' white papers. It makes everybody look smart. Joint meetings or events, fantastic way that if you all have an event hosted and you all are there to talk about things. Again, Pam Rosenberry does a fantastic job of this, having breakfast meetings where she has a guest speaker of other movers, shakers in town, and she fills up meetings once a month with this for relatively inexpensively. So joint meetings or events, share elevator statements I already talked about. These are all ways that you can really blow the door out of the water for getting these kind of referrals are the best kind of referrals because they're referrals from somebody that the client respects and is already working with. So guys, unbelievable amounts of ways that the 5Q system allows you to go after referrals. All of them cost basically nothing. Maybe $35 is one of the top costs. Guys, if you want referrals, then figure out how many you want, put the systems in place, and start getting referrals. But they're not going to happen by you just waiting for your clients to magically start sending you people. We have the tools. Use them. If you don't know which tools to use, contact your 5Q specialist. They're gonna work with you. Oh, well, here, what's Pam say? Pam says, you give us so many systems, we have to learn just to choose one. Yeah, we have to learn just to choose one, get it up and going, and then go to the next. And then Pam Roseberry's on, and she's saying, yeah, just choose one. Don't do all of them. Don't do all the ones I showed you today. Choose one, get it up and going. Choose the next one, get it up and going. Choose the next one, get it up and going. Because it's getting it going is the tough part, but once it's up and running, it's really easy. It's really easy. So we got some other comments here. What's Kyle say? Good dreams don't come cheap. You got to pay for them. If you just dream when you sleep, there's no way for them to come alive. To survive, good dreams don't come cheap. Yeah. So guys, that's the thing. You got to work for these things to happen. You can't just hope for them to happen. And we've given you the tools. The tools are free. We give you the tools for free, and more importantly, to implement them is almost for free. I mean, we're talking about $35 is an expensive one of these. If you can't spend $35 to get referrals, you're crazy. Please put the time and effort. And summer is a good time to be putting these things in place. Summer is a fantastic time to be putting these things in place. We'll work with you hand in hand to make sure you're doing these things. And once they're up and running, they're easy. And then the referrals just start coming in like clockwork. Okay? So please, 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 don't just say this is a good idea. Hang up the phone and go about your your everyday affairs, because nothing will happen. Right now, open your calendar, and in your calendar, in this week, block out a 2-hour time. Block out a 2-hour time so you can sit down and rewatch this video and look at these systems that we have and decide, as Pam points out, which system you're going to implement first, and then implement it. And then put another 2-hour block of time next month, and implement another of the systems next month. You got 3 or 4 of these referral systems going at any one time, your marketing cost is going to go way down and your profit level is going to go way up. Okay? So any questions on comments on oh, thank you. Kyle says, remind everybody to be on the call on Wednesday. Guys, Wednesday's call is probably the most important call I've done in 5-6 years. Please make sure you're on that call. It's 2 hours long. I'm going to show you 2 new ways to bring in tons of business, one of which was the very way that I made $1 million a year, the very way that I taught a dozen guys to make $1 million a year, the very presentation that did it. We have not been able to use that presentation for over 5 years because the product did not exist. It has reemerged, and we now have the ability to use that same product again. So please make sure you're on the call on Wednesday. It's the most important call you're going to probably, in the last 5 years for me, it might be the most important call for the rest of your career. Make sure you're on it, please. If they need an invitation, Kyle says, call 877-941-9710. They will make sure they give you all the deets on that, but you've been receiving emails and a mailer from us to make sure you're on it. It's this important. I don't do this very often, but I want you on that call, guys, because it's going to be well worth the 2 hours. No, it's not going to be. But everybody does what? We've been giving you a notice.
Hey, Mike, I think your headset's going dead.
On that call, whatever you have to do, cancel. I don't care if you're closing a frickin' deal on Wednesday. Guess what you need to do? Cancel it and be on there, because if you're not on there, you're going to walk away from millions of dollars rather than the $100,000 that you're closing on Wednesday. It's that important. And guys, I make money when you make money, so it's very rare that I tell you to cancel a meeting with a client to be on a call. You need to do it on Wednesday, okay? It's a very important call. So, that's all I have today. Oh, your audio's out. Is my audio out, Missy?
No, you're back on. You did go out for, I lost you for about maybe 3 or 4 seconds.
Okay. Okay. Oh, the phone number again is just our regular number, 877-941-9710. So guys, please be on that call, and appreciate you on the call today. Any questions or concerns before I let you all go? Awesome, bud. Thank you. Oh, what time is the call on Wednesday? It's what time, Missy?
It's at 10 o'clock Central Time.
So 10 to noon.
10 to noon Central Time.
Thanks, everybody. You have a fantastic rest of the week until Wednesday when I'll be talking to all of you, right? Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.